Hi, this is Shane, aka French Pig, from the AUS Blue Seals clan. Firstly, before I start, I'd just like to thank Eclipse and BK the Baller for making me aware of using hotkeys properly. They're two highly ranked players, Eclipse being, I think, a Major General, and at this stage ranked #1 on ELO for 1v1. And of course, BK the Baller was the first person to help me. He's a brigadier, and he first made me aware of hotkeys and how to use them. Basically, when you think of using hotkeys, you more or less want to be using keys in sort of the general area of Q, W, E, R, T, Y, A, S, D, F, G, all keys located very close to each other. Just quickly in this this section of the video, I'll be just talking about what hotkeys to use. Obviously, there's hotkeys for many different things, many different actions. You don't really need to use them all. It's probably a bit of an overkill. First of all, I'm not particularly a good player. I wouldn't claim to be a good player. I would like to one day be a good player, but myself, I guess this VOD is aimed for lower ranked players who are starting out, but I really do believe that there will be some players ranked a lot higher than me, a lot better than me, who will benefit from the use of this video, because I've seen really high-ranked players not use hotkeys as well as they should. So, first of all, let's go have a look. To this VOD will be going through TAD. Generally speaking, all the hotkeys that I'll be using will be available in both vanilla or AoE 3, the original game. So, if we want to look up the hotkeys, we go to Home Cities, then Options, and then Hotkeys. The most notable ones, first of all, I'll only go through what I've changed and what I'll be using. Attack move, Q, I'll go through what that is later. That's probably the only one I'd be using in this section. In the game world hotkeys, they're pretty much as is. That's really just looking at the camera views and screenshots and stuff, so we won't really need to go through that. Selection group, I guess the main thing I want to point out is most players know, obviously, to create a group it's control 1, 2, 3, etc. But it's also important as you're creating groups to add something to the group. So let's just say you've got 10 musks and you're attacking your opponent's base. As you build more musks, if you select, let's just say you've built 5 more musks, make sure you highlight those new musks and hold Shift 1, for example. So if you have your initial musks in group 1, if you select those new musks that have come out, press Shift 1, it will add them to the group. The majority of the hotkeys I'm going to be talking about, if we go to Find Unit Hotkeys, we can see here that I've changed Explorer hotkey to F. That's very important. It's very important to scout. I know myself that I probably could scout better, but it did make it a lot easier to change my hotkey for my Explorer to F. If I have, say, for example, an Indian scout or an envoy if I'm Dutch, I'll also create a group for them in Age 1. So I can obviously press F for Explorer and then say 1 to move around my scout. Idle Villager I've changed to Z. That's very important. So whenever you see an idle villager, you can just simply press Z and then move them onto the resource you need to. Home city is H, that's the default. So instead of actually clicking on the flag for your civilization to go to the home city, you can press H. Town centre for T, that's pretty standard. You use that most of the time. Another thing is, well, find wagon. I've just left it as the default. Let's just say if you're British and you're aging up with tower, the first thing you want to do as soon as you hit age 2 is hit that button and then move your outpost to where you would like. Probably the most important things here, A for barracks. What that means is if you have a barracks, you can press A and it finds it. D for artillery foundry, and S for stable, which is here somewhere. There it is. So you notice those keys very close to each other in close proximity, ASD. So at this stage, it's Q for attack move, below that ASD, F for explorer. I've also got market. You will need to refer to your market quite a bit. You may need to trade resources, you may need to upgrade the technologies at the market, so I use R for that. Of course, we've got Z. Anything else in here? Nothing really that I use a great deal. Another thing as well, you can use the same hotkeys. So for example, to find the stable is S, but to build a stable, if we go to building construction hotkeys, is also S. So you can see that if we have a villager selected, if you press S, then that will build a stable. Similarly, if I wanted to build a barracks with a villager selected, I press A, and also an artillery, I'd press D. Apart from that, in this particular section, I don't think there's anything that I would use a great deal. Let's have a look. No, there's not. Town center hotkey is very important. I'm not sure what the default for ejecting units is, but you may see some of the better players, particularly if you're a new player, they eject their villagers from the town centre. That's to save villager seconds. So what you do is you would press T and then E to eject a villager. Okay, so that's probably the most important one there. Note here that for me to build a villager, I actually use spacebar, and I guess the reason for that, the history behind that is, I found it that when I first started out playing this game, my biggest weakness was not creating villagers constantly. I just found that using my thumb to hit the spacebar really does help. It's obviously personal preference, but I prefer to use spacebar now to build villagers, but obviously that's up to you. In the barracks, I would really plead that you sort of be aware of these different ones. So for example, in this VOD that I'll be showing you, I'll be doing M for musketeer. So what I can do is actually create my barracks in a control group, which means then I don't have to refer to the barracks on the map. I can be still fighting, press 5 in this case for my barracks, and then I can press M to start queuing musketeers. Similarly as well, if you say are going musketeer cav or something like that, if we go down to hussar, which will actually, sorry, that's not in the barracks, better go to the stable. We're going to have, if we press S for hussar, so you could group your barracks in control 5 and your stable in control 6. So what you could do is you could press 5M for barracks to build a musket, and 6S for a stable to build a hussar. So what you could be doing is you could be in the middle of a fight. It's a very important fight. If let's just say you pressed S for barracks and for stable, and you went back to your stable to queue hussar, next thing you could have 10 hussar in your opponent's base. Next thing they come with a hell of a lot of pike. Those hussar might die by the time you actually look back to your next fight. So it's actually it's a lot more efficient to create units by using control groups. So I'm going to go through that, talk about that in the next section anyway. Apart from that, they're probably the main things. If I miss out anything, I'll go through that in the next section. There are hotkeys for absolutely everything. To be honest, it's probably a bit of an overkill to use them all, because there is just literally every button would be a hotkey. But I would make note that, let's just say if you like a particular civ, let's just say Spain, well, yes, if a Lancer would be L. Alright, so you could select your barracks, or sorry, in your stable in this case, and you could press L for Lancer.